Ansar al-Sunna Islamic State of Iraq and the Levant al-Qaeda supported by organized crime foreign sympathizers Abu Yazir Hassan Mozambican security forces mercenaries various Ansar al-Sunna cells ISIL. The insurgency in Cabo Delgado is an ongoing conflict in Cabo Delgado province, Mozambique, mainly fought between Islamist militants attempting to establish an Islamic state in the region and Mozambican security forces. Civilians have been the main targets of attacks by Islamist militants. The main insurgent faction is Ansar al-Sunna, a native extremist faction with tenuous international connections. From mid-2018, the Islamic State of Iraq and the Levant has allegedly become active in northern Mozambique as well, and claimed its first attack against Mozambican security forces in June 2019. In addition, bandits have exploited the rebellion to carry out raids. The insurgency is thought to be intensifying, as in the first half of 2020 there were nearly as many attacks carried out as in the whole of 2019. Ansar al-Sunna is similar to the name of an Iraqi Sunni insurgent group that fought against U.S. troops between 2003 and 2007. Locals call them Al-Shabaab, but they are a separate organization from Somali Al-Shabaab. The militants are known to speak Portuguese, the official language of Mozambique, Kimvan, the local language, and Swahili, the lingua franca language spoken in the Great Lakes region. Reports also state that members are mostly Mozambicans from Mochamboa da Praia, Palma and Macomia districts, but also include foreign nationals from Tanzania and Somalia. Ansar al-Sunna, also known by its original name, Ahlussunnah wa Jamo, was initially a religious movement in northern districts of Cabo Delgado which first appeared around 2015. It was formed by followers of the radical Kenyan cleric Abu Drogo, who was killed in 2012. Thereafter, some members of his movement settled down in Kibish, Tanzania, before moving into Mozambique. Ansar al-Sunna claims that Islam as practiced in Mozambique has been corrupted and no longer follows the teachings of Muhammad. The movement's members consequently entered traditional mosques with weapons in order to threaten others to follow their own radical beliefs. The movement is also anti-Christian and anti-Western, and has tried to prevent people from attending hospitals or schools which it considers secular and anti-Islamic. This behavior alienated much of the local population instead of converting them to Ahlussunnah wa Jamo, so that the movement's members broke away and formed their own places of worship. Over time, the group became increasingly violent. It called for Sharia law to be implemented in the country, no longer recognized the Mozambican government, and started to form hidden camps in Macomia district, Mochamboa da Praia district, and Montepas district. There, Ansar al-Sunna militants were trained by ex-policemen and ex-frontier guards who had been fired and held grudges against the government. The movement also contacted other Islamist militants in East Africa, and reportedly hired Al-Shabaab trainers from Somalia, Tanzania, and Kenya. These Al-Shabaab trainers acted as mercenaries, however, and aided Ansar al-Sunna not out of actual connections between Al-Shabaab and Ansar al-Sunna, but due to the pay they received from the latter. Some of the Ansar al-Sunna militants have also journeyed abroad to receive direct training by other militant groups. The militants are not unified, but split into different cells which do not appear to coordinate their actions. By August 2018, the Mozambican police had identified 6 men as leaders of the militants in Cabo Delgado: Abdul Fazil, Abdul Rahim, Abdul Ramane, Ibn Omar, Salimo, and Nuno Ramane. Ansar al-Sunna funds itself through heroin, contraband and ivory trade. While religion does play a fundamental role in the conflict, analysts believe the most important factors in the insurgency are widespread social, economic and political problems in Mozambique. Unemployment and especially youth unemployment are considered the main causes for locals to join the Islamist rebels. Increasing inequalities have led many young people to be easily attracted by such a radical movement. As Ansar al-Sunna promises that its form of Islam will act as antidote to the existing corrupt elitist rule, there is a lack of access to reliable information in the region due to journalists being intimidated by government and military personnel. On the 5th of January 2019, Mozambican authorities unlawfully detained journalist Ahmed Abubakar, who had reported on the insurgency. He was subsequently subjected to torture and only released on bail after 107 days in detention. The rebels have committed extensive war crimes, targeting and murdering civilians on many occasions during the insurgency. In addition, Mozambican security forces were reportedly filmed as they tortured and murdered captured rebel fighters. Amnesty International assumed that the videos